Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I wanted to do a paper test. Now I am doing the paper test with the Moleskine Sketchbook. It's from their art collection. This is the vertical. Each page is 165 grams. It is ivory in color. Now I did a sketchbook tour. I will link that in the description box. I only did colored pencil with this product. So I wanted to see how wet product looks on this paper and see if it's sized, how well it handles things. Now I know as far as paints go, acrylic, as long as you're not adding water, is fine on paper, and gouache for the same reason. I do believe there's an artist on YouTube that oil paints in Moleskine. I will link one of his videos if I can find it. The first thing I'm really curious about trying is watercolor. So I have the Daniel Smith Lunar Black. This is a very granulating black watercolor. It's very beautiful. And I thought for sure we'd be able to see that. So let's see how this looks. And I kind of want to see how water sits on it, and I kind of want to see if I am brushing and blending, how much can I work the page before the paper pulp starts to lift and kind of pill. It's very faint ghosting on the other side. We're going to let that dry and I'm going to try some more things. So here I have a Tombow. Let's say I'm really coloring it in. This is the 565. And that's fine. Again, this is 165 gram paper. I also have something similar to a Tombow. I have a Marvy Le Plume too, which I obviously don't use quite as much as my Tombows. So it looks like for these inks, there's just very faint ghosting, so it would be fine. This is just a Pilot pen in fun polka dot packaging. A little ghosting, but it's fine. Here's a Micron. That's an 05 in black. That's kind of my stock standard of what I use. And ghosting. No bleeding yet. We may get to bleeding products. So here's a Pigma FB. This is the fine point. Ooh, and mine is running out of ink. But it looks okay. Here's a Pentel Feud. These are cartridges of loose ink with like a brush, painted brush tip. So if you are proficient with water brushes and you want to try it with ink, a Pentel Feud is a very fun pen. And there's no bleeding on that either. We're going to get to a couple products that probably are going to bleed. Here's a Sharpie. I only have the ultra fine points. I use these for envelopes, but I wanted just to show people. This is the brown. No way. I want to see if this is going to bleed or leak through. Very faint. It's very, very faint. Here is a Copic Chow. This is the B39. It's a dark blue. Let's use the brush. One. Here's two overlapping. Three overlapping. Four overlapping. So all those. But that's kind of to be expected with alcohol markers. So I would recommend, if you're going to alcohol marker on this paper has a really great weight to it. Put a buffer sheet, a sheet protector, you know, one of those plastic sheet dividers, subject dividers from binders or something like that, and then you can protect the next page, and then you just create on one side. This is the envelope in the back, so I'm not too worried about that. And the watercolor looks okay. It doesn't look, I'm going to try and add a little bit directly from the tube. And we're really just going to experiment here. I want to see how standing watercolor looks. Because if you can paint in this sketchbook, then that gives this sketchbook a lot more value for me personally, because a lot of times I can't decide whether I want to draw or paint or do a combination of until like a couple days prior to a creating artist challenge. It does pill. I would say if you're doing washes, be real gentle with the page. The page does lift a bit. The paper pulp does come apart. But if you're being gentle, you could get away with strategic watercolor placement. Because as you can see, it looks fine on the opposite side. And I'm using varying amounts of water to get all the different values of this black watercolor paint. So yeah, this is really cool. I'm really impressed. They make a watercolor sketchbook. It's a 200-gram cellulose. It's like all the other 200-gram cellulose watercolor sketchbooks. It's nothing fancy, but I like this one for dual purpose. If you're doing dry and wet media together, this could be really, really fun. So I hope this video helped. I hope this gave you sort of a clear view of some of the things you can do with this paper. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.